Yeah, I feel like at some point Fusion University just made a deal with some deity somewhere and said, we want to win every match, but also because we are going to win every match will be close. But we're okay with that.
Yeah, we're fine with that. We're fine with that monkey's paw scenario there. As we move in here to Hanamura, both teams going to be rolling out, or both teams, I guess it's not actually going to be both teams rolling out. It's going to be Montreal on the offense. They're going to be running this Sombra 3-3 setup here. Fusion Unity going to be playing defense here. Running the double slow healer, as I like to call it, running Snillo on the Ana. Actually, running double snow healer with Karkar Lucio. So they're running triple support without Brigitte. Snillo on the Ana.
Yeah, so Snillo is basically the flex hero. Is like, we don't want Brigitte here. We want to use the Ana in the situation because we don't feel like we need the benefits of the Brigitte. And Fusion University instead just going to dive in. Montreal able to get through, though. Got very close to Shriek getting picked off, but they've gone through the first hurdle.
They have gone through the first hurdle. They're going to be going through this high ground, rotating towards the point. As Snillo, though, he's rotated. He's come back over here. He's come onto the opposing high ground. Montreal deciding, you know, what are we going to do? When are our cooldowns back up? Let's move. And you see great boop, though. A really great boop from Bernard.
Again, good displacement for Fusion University. And it's a Bionade that wasn't bad either. But Montreal, again, able to shake it off. They get to their main destination, which is point A. But now Fusion University, they're ready to go. They're going to use a Nano Boost on the Beast now. He's stunned out immediately, but he's able to Primal in time where he would have been bursted down, but the Nano Boost, enough to keep him alive in the middle of the fight. And now he's looking for that sweet net ledge knockoff. And off of that, it's going to be Shriek out of the fight early, but so is Beast Halo.
Goliath
so
gets the snipe. He gets the snipe as Beast Halo's trying to leave. He's going to tumble into the abyss. Fusion Uni still contesting the point. The grab is out. Good anti-though from Snillo.
Graviton in Fusion University fighting back tooth and nail. They're almost fought enough time for Beast Halo to get back into this fight, and Montreal running out of steam here to a degree.
They have. They don't have a lot of ults. It's going to be Logix looking for the grab. Tensa has the beat, but Montreal still waiting to get back in. They're still waiting to move. Beast Halo will be back very, very soon for Fusion Uni as both teams stabilize.
So, Fusion University going to successfully repel Montreal here, and also, again, buy a lot of time.
They have bought a lot of time. You see now even more contests happening. One of the values of having the on this map is that you can just cycle contest your tanks so aggressively. You can have them push forward, get some poke, get healed back up. Usually don't have to worry too much about getting punished. Montreal now on the point.
Montreal moving forward, but it's taking them a while to get topped back off. It feels like Logix has been wounded pretty much forever at this point. Graviton is right in. Fusion University, they have to make a move here. They're using Time Bank as a currency right now. 2 ticks have gone the way of Montreal, and now Montreal going to grab in response to Beast Halo, moving on in with the Nano Boost.
God's grab.
Graviton out of the fight here early. Really big swap in momentum here of the fight. Montreal going to beat and say this fight is ours. We move forward up at this time, but God's going to get demeched. The fight here getting a little bit messy. Both teams losing players. Both Zarya's out of the fight, but it's Beast Halo now on the full cleanup. Just diving on the Goliath. Goliath nowhere to go towards the very end. Shriek might get the punish, but Fusion University, they take the fight.
Oh, and Shriek drops the shatter, but there was still a bubble up for Beast. It gets blocked entirely by the Beast's bubble, even though he's dead.
I wonder if he's going to swap here.
I mean, I don't know. I think their comp is still built around Shriek on the Ryan, but that is really unfortunate. And now we're getting to the final seconds here. We're getting to the last fight for Montreal.
Montreal on the verge of getting held here on point A. This could be a very quick Hanamura one way or another. They're going to set up here. The rally coming up early. Montreal, again, rotating over to point. They only have 33% to go, so Fusion University has to be a little bit more aggressive than they were before. They don't have that currency to play with. And already, they're going to get demeched here early. Man advantage, especially to Montreal as they move in. Nano Boost here on the Beast Halo, moving forward, able to use it to isolate down Shriek. So now it's Fusion University sort of equalizing with Naga on the other side. Got on the support line, took down 2, and off the Brigitte, getting around. Naga has done enough to let Montreal now get through point A.
Absolutely huge play from Naga. Beast Halo, though, going to be dropping this. It's still going to be the grab coming up for Logic. This solo grab onto Beast Halo. He should get cleaned up very, very soon. You see Nice still fighting. Shriek coming back on that Hammond. That was so huge for Naga, cleaned up nice at the end. He has the clutch armor pack on the Logix, gets those 3 frags. Naga being an absolute game changer for Montreal.
Very much so, and now Montreal still with a chance to set a decent time here where you can have a bit of redemption here on Assault, where if you struggle to get point A but then go forward and take point B in your first attack, it's not too bad. But they don't have the momentum that you'd normally associate with that sort of attack.
They don't have a ton of momentum by any means, but there isn't a lot in the bank for Fusion Unity. It's just going to be Karkar's beat. So Montreal have a chance, especially now that they've been able to move from the bridge side on.
Really good shield pressure. Beast Halo's in trouble. Beast Halo getting isolated. He's down. They chase down Beast Halo, who just dropped down perhaps a little bit early, took too much damage to his shield, and now Montreal beginning to snowball, up 6v4. And that was a very good sequence of pressure coming in from Montreal.
Montreal, they have point control. They did use that Transcendence, but they traded for Karkar's beat. Right now, Fusion, they're hoping for Nice's grab. He's sitting on high ground, and there's the beat out from Montreal.
Beast Halo gonna fall once more. Montreal now in cruise control here. Graviton coming out here from Nice, but it's on a Women of Prayer fall through. It's enough to get Naga, surprisingly enough, but the Graviton's gonna be back the other way. And critical damage not dealt in the least to Montreal, as they end up setting a decent time on Hanamura. They make up for a bad point A.
They do have a pretty rough point A, but off of that clutch from Naga, they were able to move it on. And you see the Fusion Unity, they're waiting for the beat, waiting for Nice's grab when Montreal approached from the high ground, going that bridge side, trying to drop the point, and they don't contest them at all. They don't fight them. They let them in for free, which allows them to get the point. And they're still waiting for Nice grab. They're still waiting for anything, but the early pressure forces Karkar's beat after Beast Halo is already dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think what really happened there as well is that Beast Halo's shield was taking a huge amount of damage early on, but then Montreal was moving to rotate on the point, so Beast felt compelled to drop on over. But he dropped on over. He didn't have a chance to get his shield back up. So what do? They realize, hey, this is Orion that's down, isolated from his team. His shield is half dead. Let's make it full dead.
So now, Montreal, they are going to have a little less than 3 minutes in their total bank. Fusion Unity moving to their first offense. Very, very clutch push there for Montreal. That is definitely the definition of a clutch push for Montreal.
Well, it keeps them alive in the series where, again, don't forget, too, it even gets them away from a rather bad series elimination or a season elimination condition here where if this map were to be a draw, that would be the end of the series and likely the end of Montreal.
Very, very true. Fusion Uni, I mean, they're just zooming around right now in the spawn. We don't really know what they're going to be playing yet. It's possible this triple DPS comp comes out. But, don't trust the spawn. We've learned that. Never trust the spawn heroes.
Definitely not. So, Fusion University, I mean, bear in mind, the idea of running Symmetra here early on to get people through is not, like, entirely crazy. It is a way of quickly getting through Hanamura point A, but that's not going to be the case here this time.
Well, interesting. So, I mean, it didn't make sense for Symmetra in that comp anyway since they're playing triple DPS, but they're actually not because Bernard swapping to the Diva is going to be Snillo and Nice on Hanzo Fair respectively. So Fusion Unity, they're really looking to just get a lot of spam damage here, just poke and prod and build up that barrage.
It's a good old 2-2-2 setup, but if there's any Diva trust to put good pressure on the Nice tier, it would be God. So we'll see how this works out. For now, Nice is getting a lot of good pressure. They're going to break Shriek's shield. Montreal feeling just very much stuck in the corner over here. Nice. He's got a lot of room to work with. It's a little bit of poke damage on that last rotation, but he almost has a very early barrage.
And Shriek, he's so low. His shield's broken. Again, this pressure onto Shriek is brutal. Beast Halo, though. He's committed. He swooped in. Do they get him?
No, not quite. Instead, the barrage goes back the other way. Nice going to take down two as they were trying to chase down Beast. So Beast almost getting picked off, and I mean, he does get picked off. It still works out really well for Fusion University.
And not just, it wasn't just, oh no. Okay, they can get up. Okay, bro, that was almost a super clutch boop there for Tensa. And really the reason that it worked out there was because Snillo drops the zoning Hanzo. He drops the Dragon Strike, forces Montreal to split, setting up Nice for the barrage. So great counterplay there despite Beast being caught in.
And now Fusion University could just set an absolutely dominating time bank performance here. The problem is, of course, is that when speaking about momentum, Montreal, they haven't had to shift things up, whereas Fusion University, they have had to shift rather considerably. They have a Transcendence in reserve, but not a whole lot else. So Montreal should be well set up for the first fight.
Yeah, they definitely should, and they should be looking to take this fight aggressively, too. I don't think they should let them for free, which is what Fusion Uni did. You need to fight them. You need to just actually just take the fight. You know you have that ult ad.
Alarm eats a lot of damage here early on, able to back on out. Montreal, totally fine right now. Fusion University playing it a bit slower. Now they're going to dive in. Bernard goes in from the outside of the rest of Fusion University, going up the stair. And they force a big rotation, but they also invest Transcendence and don't get much from it. And instead, now there's going to be a Graviton. There's not going to be as good of a support response, but Beast Halo somehow gets out.
Beast Halo gets out, and Tensa almost caught, and Gods uses Bomb on high ground, gets nothing from that as well. So Montreal have used almost all of their big ults. They will hold on to the double support ult, though.
Yeah, support ults are still reserved, but they're just going to have to use it to engage, and that's what they use. Oh, wow, what displays by the Beast Halo. He got sent to the far back of Hanamura and then some, but Alarm takes down Gods. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. I think just losing Beast is enough to torpedo the push.
I mean, even if they could have potentially won from there, they are just able to follow up and just isolate nice lower. So that's just going to be the frag they needed. A lot of damage gone. But still, for Fusion Uni, you have to feel okay, considering that you build up some more ults in their bank. They're coming up on 6 very, very soon. And Tensa does not have beat. You don't have anything to really mitigate that combo.
No, not quite. And now as we take a look here, it's going to be Fusion University setting up here once more. Same general approach. We expect the bulk of the team to go through here stairs. Bernard to go off on the other side. And Montreal, they just give up the high ground there right away.
Yeah, they give up the high ground. They're backing up. They're playing near the spawn doors, near the flank, trying to play isolated, trying to play split on point. Not isolated, but rather split on point. You see Gods getting that early pressure from Bernard. Main for Bernard so low. Is he going to demec?
Well, right now, both teams kind of trading out attack and defense. Montreal going to transcend in response to the Graviton. Self-destruct. Back up the other way. Earth Shatter. Moving on down from Sharik. Both teams getting into it right now. Transcendence in from Fusion University. They get Sharik. And now here comes self-destruct from Montreal. He looking to make a little bit more room.
Oh,
and
great
it gets
bash from
Halo.
Naga. Naga gets the bash on a beast while he's watching for the bomb.
It set it up really, really nicely. And now Montreal, they have what they need to fight this back. Sure, they might have gotten wounded early on, but guess what? That's over. The spawn is back out in play. And Fusion University gonna be thrown back a bit here. 4 minutes still left remaining. Still plenty of time.
Yeah, they do still have time. But look at this. They're gonna get staggered here. They should get these frags. Bernard, he's demeched. Do they just back up? Do they let them out? I guess they do. They know, they recognize the rest of Fusion Union back. I feel like with the Bernard out of mech, you could have committed, gotten that ult charge there, but still a pretty safe look for Montreal. So now rotating back to the high ground. They're still, and then also a pretty good ult economy position here as well. The double support ult soon to be up for Montreal. Logic's holding on to the grab. Montreal have been getting great value out of these post fights. They've been also just winning some of these flank fights. You see that all that early pressure for Bernard earlier on from Gods. He has to bomb in a situation where it's not set up for the grab.
It's been really good pressure coming up, but Montreal on the same note, they've had good reactions and still hanging on here, even as Fusion University has been pushing the envelope. Fusion University once more. This is what they do. They go upstairs, they have Bernard go around the side, but the Graviton can be coming out real early from Logic's here, and he ends up getting taken down while looking for the follow through. Just isolated. Early on, the Graviton doesn't result in a lot of value here from Montreal. Fusion University can take the high ground. They drop right back on over to point. Pressure mounting here once more, and Montreal going to be giving up 2 ticks as they wait for Logic's to get back in.
And then Sharik is getting so much pressure onto him right now. He's dead. He loses the shadow, the beat for Tensa. Not in time, but Nice is down.
Goliath with the pick from the offside. There's still a chance here for Montreal, even though it's looking real grim. Bernard, the self-destruct up into the sky. Just going to be zoning Montreal out a little bit more, but Montreal, they don't have anything left to give. It's half a tick away here, but they're going back on. Respawns are in. Beast Halo down, isolated, taken out as Montreal is fighting it back one more time.
That pick from Goliath onto Nice was so important, and then the recontest comes out. Sharik, the charge, pinning Beast Halo, and Gods, and also very importantly, pushing Sonillo off the point onto the low ground. You see that happen a lot on Hanamura, where if you can force the offenders, even if you're the offensive team, I should say, especially when you're, I said offenders, but if you push them onto the low ground, they can't contest the point.
Well, you know what, to a degree, they're trying to defend their sensibilities as a Hanamura defense, so it's not entirely inaccurate. As Fusion University, they've been going up high ground this entire time. This time, though, they might be bringing it straight up the gut. Alarm, though, under a lot of pressure early on. No one's healing him just yet. The beat isn't even going to catch him. Alarm is going to fall down. Gods just hunts him on down early in the fight, and that just kneecaps Fusion University.
Whoa, what? The grab. Why did Logic's grab?
I don't know. The fight was won.
Why on earth would Logic's grab there? I mean, they're still in a better time bank position, right? And they win the fight, so great. That's all good. And sure, they got beat out of Karkar. But the problem is now you don't have grab for what's coming up to be, you know, second to last fight, potentially.
Yeah. Not really an ideal situation where, I mean, Logic's has looked better this map, but it has been a shakier series for him overall. And again, for Fusion University as I set up here, look for Nice to just grab immediately. There's not a lot of chill when he looks for grab, but this time he actually holds on a little bit.
The thing is, if he grabs immediately, though, Goliath has trance, and they don't have combo. Bernard does not have that bomb. So Fusion University have rotated, taken the spawn. They're on point now.
Well, it's going to be rally versus rally, and yep, Nice is still going to grab right away. Goliath, though, as expected, in there, and God's off the follow-through from Sharik. The Shadow sets it up, the bomb knocks it all down. And now Fusion University down to their final 47 seconds. I don't even know why we're surprised here. If Montreal wins this, of course we're just setting up for
map 5, right?
Duh!
It's not even, I mean, we're not guaranteed to go to map 5 yet. The map isn't over yet.
Yeah.
Fusion Uni still has one more push, but that was a great follow-up from Montreal. I mean, that was the problem, is that Nice drops grab, Goliath has trance, and then Shriek sets up the bomb for Boz, the defensive bomb, but with the shatter. So they win the fight, but Fusion Unity are coming back in. They do have ults up. They do have that ult add comparatively.
Very much so. We're gonna see Fusion University again up the gut. Beast Halo super aggro. Again, he just laid out the welcome mat for Montreal to just take him on 5-on-1. They take him down way before Alarm can even transcend and heal him. And now as a result, this is looking very dominant for Montreal. Alarm might get one pick off here, but the Graviton by Logic's gonna seal the deal as Montreal takes Hanamura and potentially opening up the possibility of a reverse sweep. But, you know, it is harder to get hype over that just because, again, we kind of know how the story usually plays out.
The script writers are so predictable.
Yeah,
they're so predictable. Of course Montreal wins the third map because then we have to go to a fourth and then obviously a fifth because it's Fusion Uni, right? But that was a great defense for Montreal. I know we like to talk, we like to joke, but that was a really, really good defense. And Fusion Uni did not have great ult usage. They really didn't have great ult usage. They were getting split a lot of these pushes. A lot of it was due to the fact that the boops from God and Tensa, you know, and we've talked about it so many times. Displacement in 3-3 is so valuable, just in general, but especially in 3-3. And we're not even, I don't even believe this isn't the patch with the extra momentum changes, right?
No.
That's not even the live patch. Well, so it's just so valuable.
Well, that's why I had to stop and think. Like, back to King's Row, Shriek got that little boop onto him that interrupted his Earth, or not interrupted, but caused him the Earth Shower wall. It's like, wow, doesn't boop usually send you further? It's like, oh, wait, previous patch. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes there's a soft
And they're
touch.
still so impactful. Yeah. It's so valuable when you're able to deny some pushes. And you see there in that last fight where Beast Halo is isolated on point. Part of that is because Gods and Tensa, you know, they're removing them as they come in from main. They boop them off onto low ground, so they have to rotate back on high ground. And Beast Halo is the only one that makes it through. He's left alone.
Yeah, I mean, isolation for both teams has been very good, but Montreal especially definitely kicked it up a notch there towards the end, where the amount of times where Beast Halo would just be maybe a little bit out of position, arguably, and even then, it's arguable. You know, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but what do you see? You see Montreal just swarm him in a 5-on-1 fashion, and if you can take down a Reinhardt cleanly, it's very, very hard for the other team to actually bring the fight back. Like, a lot of times the Zarya stack gets thrown out, and the reality is that any of your front line, if they go down, good luck bringing the fight back.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's a little bit easier if you still have your Zarya for sure because it's such an important damage dealer. You can also peel, but it's really the percentages are just so small in my opinion in terms of, you know, once your front line's dead, you're probably not winning the fight most of the time unless you're like the Titans where you can just your strategy relies on Bumper just like dying and then getting so much value from his death that you win the fight anyways. But it was still a very, very good hold for Montreal. Is the point, the gist of what we're getting to.
So now, speaking of points, let's take a look at what points we're going to be seeing on the next map. It's going to be Escort, as Montreal works to complete the script. To make the script writers happy, they have to bring it to a map 5. They are playing Fusion University after all. It's going to be Junkertown.
Junkertown, our final map of the series. It's going to be our Escort map. Well, actually, not our final map of the series. I should say our final map of the series if it's won here. You know, if Fusion Uni wins here. But if, obviously, if it's going to be Montreal winning, we'll go to map 5. So it won't be our final map of the series by any means.
Yeah, that is probably more than likely I've lost my track. The most likely scenario.
That is the most likely scenario.
I was messing with audio at the same time because apparently we were peaking a little bit. So whatever we could just hear, we will also a little bit multi-purpose. But hopefully it will be less peaky.
Less peaky.
Less peaky.
A little bit less peaky. As we are moving to Junkertown here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some sniper setups come into play, especially on first. I mean, Junkertown is the Widow map. It is the Widow map. You know, that is the map where you have such insane sight lines. You can get so much value. You can flank. You can just rotate around shields. And both teams are running very competent Widow players. You know, a lot for Montreal and also Snillo for Fusion Uni. But it's going to be actually the Bastion setup for the offensive for Fusion Uni. They're just trying to pressure Montreal, who's holding close. They need to back up now, though.
They just want a little bit of breathing room here at the beginning. Montreal gonna say, all right, that's fine, but we're still gonna hold you right on here. The Bastion is gone. Montreal's doing a decent job of finding.
Montreal definitely doing a great job. Beast Halo bubbles out. A lot of damage on this right now. Has to advance back a little bit. Montreal still holds the corner.
Off of the pressure coming in, they get the DMAC on the Bernard, and again, it's nothing crazy. It's just better poke being exchanged here from Montreal. You have to rally up pretty early. In fact, because of still being on Bastion early. Naga is drastically outbuilt towards the first rally.
And if Montreal, since they know that Bernard is still out of mech, they can use the rally here to try to be very aggressive on the Fusion, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they do that immediately. They force out the grab on the other side. I don't know if Fusion University was ready to follow up that grab. They're looking for it. Montreal certainly won. The Transcendence just a little bit late. It was about half a second to save Logics. Retreat, things out. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, is it? Harsh strike.
I think even though they lose this fight, they definitely will be losing this fight. Even if it's a loss, unfortunate the trans came a little too late to save Logic. But if you're Montreal, you're fine with that. Yeah. You get grab out of Nice, you get the trans out of Alarm, and now you can come back into the next fight. You're going to have your own combos.
Yeah, you're in a much better spot here for Montreal. And again, they have time to head on out. It's not the crazy, last moment effort that usually doesn't work out very well. Instead, it's up to Mr. Logics to set up a grab bomb combo here. We'll see how that grab works out. They need to move out for it soon, and they do.
They do move up. They have to be worried of Beast Halo Shadow right now, and be worried of any displacement. Logics looking for the grab. The longer they wait, though, the closer it is for Fusion to get this portal to a counter grab out. So Montreal need to look for this setup.
Right now, rallying. Used here by Snell, Fusion University. And
Огонь
Logic's kind of
Grab
telegraphing. He telegraphed the ult so hard. I was in the middle of saying it. He just goes off to the side. He's right on up. God slays at the self-destruct, trying to make something of a bad situation. Good shatter. Shrink. They're even able to get on Nice, but I do want him to give me enough. Transcendence out from both sides. Montreal desperately trying to fight this back. The plan might not be going the way they wanted to, but they almost have Beast Halo down. The fire strike from Sharik gets him through the barrier, and even with the rough beginning, Montreal ends up with a good end.
Sharik being very, very clutch there, having a shadow to deny some of that grab clean up for Fusion Uni, and then you see Naga, he peels for Sharik, who is so low post-fight, gets the bash on a Beast Halo, puts him low, and then the fire strike kill for Sharik. So huge that Montreal were able to hold that despite Logic getting the grab, Eden. And Logic's, he's just not been having the best game in terms of landing grabs.
Look, that was the most telegraphed grab I've seen in a long time, where you just see the Zarya randomly split off from the team in a sneaky fashion. Yeah, the Zarya's looking for the grab, and Bernard's seen that movie a million times over.
But the thing is, if you're Montreal, you're still extremely happy with that fight. You're getting close to that trans again, you're getting close to the rally, you have another grab from Logics, and no support for Fusion Uni. Just land the grab. He just needs to land the grab, and they're in a good facade.
Well, we'll see if he's able to land. I mean, there is a window of opportunity here. Alarm only at 80%. A grab would be big. The Graviton's got connected. The fall through is there. Alarm not charged up in time. And now, Fusion University, they might be able to touch a payload again, but it's going to be under duress.
Of course, CP. Look at this. 15 seconds left in the map. Junkertown first hold. Montreal have ult the bank. Map 5. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now?
I mean, it's in the script.
It's in the script.
It's in the script. We need new writers. There's no other way of explaining what we are seeing here.
So the rally out for Montreal. Be testing the point. They do have to worry though because the alarm has trans. Beast Halo. Shatter out. Logic's on the ground.
Shatter comes out early. Fusion University says hold the phone. We can get through point A. And Shriek says, maybe not. Shatter gonna be knocking down two. It forces the early Transcendence. Now Logic doesn't have a Graviton here to immediately seal the deal, but it's gonna be a later Transcendence for Montreal. It's still an advantage as they roll into Fusion University. They're looking for Beast Halo. Can they finish him off? Beast Halo gets a good bubble. He's still under heavy pressure. Naga and Sharik just chasing him on down. They're gonna get him, but it comes at a price. And no! Fusion University can't stay on the payload.
I mean, Montreal, they just get those early ults out. They have such great focus fire, and then they can use their support ults aggressively, force them off the cart, get chased as frags. And now we're here. And now we're here, ZP. We're back where we started at every Fusion Uni game since the beginning of time.
Yes.
That they've been first held on Junkertown. They, it's not. They didn't even get the, didn't even get to get the captain first. Montreal just have to, they have their win condition. It's a pretty easy win condition, realistically. I mean, it's not that they can't be held here, but it's very clear. It's definitely achievable with how they've been playing. And then we move to map 5. I mean, are just like, just what?
There's a reason why we meme at the beginning of the series of, well, yeah, Montreal's improved, so of course it's going to go to map 5. We've seen this happen more often than not.
It's so predictable, huh?
I'm trying to remember the last Fusion Uni game we casted that was a clean 4-0. Because I think the last one we did was also 3-2.
I can't even remember, honestly. I can't remember. It's all blurred into one map 5. All of Fusion Uni is just a giant map 5 for me.
Well, again, it goes back to your old pet theory that they have to be hourly.
They do. They have to be hourly. They have the #1 the #1, I guess they're the best at exploiting the pub effect, as it's called. You know, I don't know if I explained this on stream before. I did explain the pub effect, so yes, they are the best at exploiting the pub effect. It gets down to OT, it gets in that final map. Everyone has to work together finally, so Fusion Unity, you know, they have such talented players, and finally they're like, okay guys, it's time to win the game. And then the pub effect allows you to win.
Well, it definitely seems to be what we're looking towards here, because holding off here on Junkertown is not easy. That was a magnificent defense from Montreal, and Fusion University in a lot of trouble here within the context of Junkertown.
Yeah, within the context of Junkertown. They're exactly where they want Montreal to be in terms of taking to the map 5. So now Fusion Unity, they're holding close, getting this early card contest. You see Gods controlling the high ground, getting this poke, a lot of poke actually. Gods doing so much right now. Should win the shield presence too.
This is really good position for Montreal. I like how they're just hurting Fusion University into the back building here. They took control of the fight. They're getting halo progress all the while. 2 on the carts. This has been solid for Montreal.
It has, and now God's still on that duel with Bernard. He's chasing him down. He still wins the high ground war once again. Here comes the push.
Beast
and Beast isolated.
He got isolated from all sides. That was beauty for Montreal. A perfect rotation, setting up the rest of the fight, and the cleanup coming after going to be just as good. Montreal now going to have a big ult advantage too, as they look towards what could be the final fight.
And we've talked about clutch moments. This will have to be the most clutch of clutch fights I've ever seen for Fusion Unity if they want to win this recontest. Montreal ahead in just about every metric in terms of ult. They are moving forward with the point. They have tons of point presence. They have the point control. Fusion Unity have to drop into them. Montreal are in a great setup position here.
Montreal is going to have just a disaster of epic proportions to not take this fight. This is a near insurmountable advantage. Beast Halo eating a lot of damage here. Look at the shield pressure on the Beast Halo. They end up Zarya's shielding just to buy him a little bit of a reprieve, but again, they go back to work, straight to the body. Shatter gonna be coming down here from Shuri. They get still up.
There's the grab.
Grab's on, coming out. Here comes Self-Destruct Gods, looking to put this one away. Self-Destruct. They pick up University. Their Transcendence keeps him in.
The Shatter!
Oh, Beast Halo connecting with Bernard.
Oh no!
The Madmen have done it.
They've done it. Of course they do it. Of course they do it, ZP. And once again, Fusion Unity show why they can be both anti-clutch and so clutch at the same time. They played the fight so long. They deny the cleanup frags for the grab, and then Beast Halo falls up perfectly, recognizing that Shriek's looking to block that bomb for Bernard and sets it up.
That fight, by all metrics, should not have been something that Fusion University should have been able to win, but they buy enough time and respond in a way that they end up turning it anyways. But guess what? Montreal, they're mad. This is going to be highly aggro, and they're just looking to the same target again. Beast Halo, everyone isolating him. Fusion was trying to help, but they couldn't do a thing.
Oh my goodness.
That was such a good engagement.
That was such a good push from Montreal. Fusion Unity were absolutely not prepared for how aggressive they were to be. They were expecting Alarm to have trance. Yeah, they were expecting Alarm to have trance. He was so close to trance. Alarm builds trance in those scenarios, but Montreal didn't let him.
And again, it would be easy to go like, Beast Halo's down early. All of Fusion University was trying to save him. He wasn't even out of position. That was just...
He would just get rushed. He just actually got rushed.
Montreal just went in like a pack of vultures.
So that was a great... I mean, you know, what looked to be... They had the unlosable fight, and then we have the probably not winnable fight, and they win the probably not winnable fight because they just get in there, use the beat so aggressively before Alarm can get trance.
So, guys, I know this is really going to shock you as we say the words, the magic words.
Here it comes.
Fusion University, map 5.
And there it is. And there it is. We're here again, guys. You know, turn to your travel guides, and you'll find that at the end of every Fusion Unity game, you're at a map 5.
Yeah, this is really ridiculous. Like, this is something where you could almost write an article just really ragging on the quality of Overwatch writing. Is that every week, same story.
It's pretty incredible that we ended up in this exact same scenario once again. And as we've said every time, as we get to this exact same scenario, which we've seen so many times before, Montreal have a real chance of beating Fusion Unity here. You know, but do they really? Because we've got it to map 5.
Yeah, we're going to find out, I suppose. But this is where we have to do our due diligence and say that it is map 5. Fusion University has had an unparalleled, undefeated streak, and it could come to an end here on a map 5, even though it usually doesn't.
Yes, even though all of the data does not at all stack up with that premise. Everything we've seen, everything that we've been told to believe should not, doesn't correlate. But it's possible. This could be the time.
It would be nothing short of ridiculous for Montreal, off of 2 new pickups, to upset Fusion University here. Like, let's not undersell it. Let's hype it up as proper. Montreal was a team in the lower part of the group, a team that is fighting just to get into playoffs.
A team that has lost to, a team that, like you're talking about, they've lost to teams that they really shouldn't have lost to, that no one predicted to. And now they've taken Fusion Uni to a map 5, and they're looking really strong. And it was incredible. Could be a reverse. This could be a reverse sweep at that.
It could be a reverse sweep.
Which we usually see Fusion Uni do.
Yes. Although Fusion Uni, they have denied multiple reverse sweeps as well. Like, when you got this many map 5s, you've seen every combination and permutation.
It's all worked out. It's all worked out.
You've seen it all. But now, have they seen this? Montreal, 2 rounds away from breaking the streak and keeping their playoff hopes alive.
And you definitely were right, ZP, that you cannot undersell this. Like this is monumental. If Montreal win here today, this is an unbelievable break for Montreal. Yep. It's really unprecedented.
What this means here is that if Montreal goes up this first round, you should get on social media. You should be DMing your friends saying, history might be about to be made here. And their response might be, yeah, sure, it's Fusion Uni, map 5, Resident Sleeper. But no, it still could happen here today.
Where were you when Fusion Uni potentially were kill on map 5?
Yeah, exactly.
I was casting in a Contenders when Fusion Uni called me up and said, map 5 is kill.
So please, let's give this situation the due deference and respect it deserves.
It is. This is a very, very important moment. But Montreal didn't look great on control in the beginning, right? And that's sort of the Fusion Uni gambit, is to just be better on control.
Yeah, I mean, Elk described the master plan perfectly. He broke the code of silence and, against Tucker's best wishes, and he said, yeah, we just win on control, and that's how we keep winning on map 5. And they did win on control to start the series, so by that logic, there is an edge here to Fusion University.
Both teams going to be rolling out here soon. Get ready to move out. It's going to be a mirror matchup here. Both teams on the Winston. And we are on the Sanctum, the Fall Sanctum, a classic map. And you see Biso taking this beeline here to contest the Mega Pack very early. Sharik, though, Sharik actually taking the same path, but instead of going down, like over the inside, it's Naga down.
Well, it's a quicker, more swift rotation for Fusion University because Naga's out of the fight immediately. And just like that, Fusion University getting a big edge here to start off map 5.
Oh, no, they can't. This can't be it, right?
I don't think the Jesse Pinkman gift really does this justice anymore.
It doesn't. It really does not.
But of course, it is the first fight. The only reason why we're even saying that, though, is that this is a pretty hard round to retake on.
It is. And Sanctum is definitely one. I mean, Control in general, I think, are when you hold the point, it's tough to retake. But Sanctum in particular is a very, very tough stage to get back into. It's Montreal moving back in. We'll be entering from these doors very soon. And the ult still pretty relatively equal across the board, though there is a slight add to Fusion Uni. Oh, yeah. Montreal rotating here through the flank side.
Still a bit of rotation going in. I mean, they got through the hard part here on retaking. It's not bad for Montreal here so far, but now they have to deal with the fact that Fusion University can be very split. They only have to go on to that point just enough to contest. See Karkar looking for a boop there, not going to happen. Instead, Graviton early from Nice. They isolate down Sharik, and the rest will fall in turn. So really just good patience there from Fusion University. They wait for a while, they engage only when they need to, and they drag even more time off the clock.
Great early grab from Nice. I mean, he built that so fast. I really was wondering what Sharik was doing during that push. You see the rest of Montreal are on point, pressuring Beast Halo, and Sharik's just running around the sideline, just trying to figure out, do I engage, do I not engage, and then finally rotates back, gets there, and then grab. So now Fusion Uni, they still hold point, 60%, going to be soon. The time break for them, they have 5 ults here in the bank.
Fusion University is very advantaged here, both in positioning and certainly in ult economy. Montreal looking for something to turn the tide. He's going to go back over, join his team. And again, when you are defending here on the Fall Sanctum, you can take your time, you can rotate around. It's a very good spot for the defenders. Beast Halo is going to take his time moving around, Primal Rage in reserve, and they're buying so much time before anything is invested.
Yeah, they're buying so much time, and God, have HP to grab us out for Logics.
Oh, he couldn't even hit Primal in time. That was huge burst moving in, but Bernard evens the tide, takes that to the back. The fight, not Montreal's yet, both teams going to invest. The barrier out from Montreal as God chases down Alarm, gets rid of the God Killer. As a result, Montreal might be in a decent spot here. They should be able to retake, but they're going to have to hold 99-0.
And they are going to have to hold. The only saving grace there for Montreal is the fact that they're ahead in support ults. Goliath was able to hold on to Trance. Naga's ahead in the rally. But the thing that's to worry about is that Nice has grab, right? So Montreal, I want them to hold the doors. I want them to look to be aggressive with these support ults. They can't give Fusion Uni the time to continue to build up ults. They can't give Bernard the time to get the combo.
Don't let Fusion University get over to the point, as they've already done, and let them play the game, so to speak, but it is going to be a little bit more open here on the point. Beast Halo goes for the early Primal Rage here. Shriek already down. Alarm able to find a bit of Focus Fire. Nice.
But Beast Halo down. He used his own Primal after you know, we already lose one, but Naga off the map.
It is back and forth here. Transcendence going to be invested here by Goliath, trying to keep the remainder of Montreal alive. Even as they're down Naga here, they're down a player. Tensa a little bit isolated, off on his own, and Montreal getting split. God dropped self-destruct in the middle of the map, just hoping for a miracle, but instead God's gonna get taken down. Can't end up remeching. Graviton could be out here, late from Logic's, not gonna be against Alarm.
If they can touch point, I mean, they Shriek, he committed his life to touch point. There's also Tensa there. Goliath so close to this trance. Logic somehow stays alive, still has high energy.
Fusion University, though.
So much stall from Tensa, ZP.
Oh, and they're just able to recoalesce here, back on the point. Fusion University in a much better spot still. Gets a little bit low. Graviton, though, out from Nice. That's not going to be enough sufficient. No! Goliath in the Transcendence just in the nick of time. Doesn't save Logix, but it does save the rest. The Shriek in here on the Hammond. But Karkar right on over. Gets a boop, and so does Tensa in turn. The Lucios in both teams doing heavy work. Beast Halo moves in, though.
Oh, man. That was so close. Tensa drops the beat. He gets bombed off the point to force the end there. That was so close on both rounds. But, you know, Fusion Uni just winning it back there. They just had so clutch on the point.
Don't forget the script, though.
Don't forget the script.
The script usually dictates round 3. And Montreal, if you think back to early on Control, Montreal did take the second round. So are we really done here yet? Have we hit the sufficient amount of drama to whet Fusion University's appetite? I'm not convinced.
No, I'm not convinced yet either. So Montreal going to be rolling out here once again. Both teams on the mirror matchup. The Rhine 3-3. Getting ready to contest this high ground more than likely, unless he decides to go to point, but I think both teams want to roll at high ground.
Mirror matchup on the way. Neither team really won the best of things like Sombra. Here, oh, again, Shriek under heavy pressure, can't get away. Beast Halo getting a little bit of revenge for all the times he's been isolated in this match. And on the other side, God's going to get debacked as Fusion University starting to put this one a bit on autopilot here. The rest of the fight cleanup should be theirs. And
it's not over yet, though.
Oh, wait, that was Baby Diva.
God's
and he's
doing
getting
so
his mech back! What?
He gets his mech back. Logic stays alive after Bernard pushes them. They're forcing Fusion Unity to rotate to the point after those frags. Beast Halo, remember, he committed his life early. So now here come the rest of Montreal. They're on point. They're forcing Fusion Unity back.
This should not have gone down this way. Fusion University was so far ahead in that fight. And God saying, you know what, I might be down the mech, but I'm not out of this fight yet.
Now Fusion Unity rotating to the point. They do have that rally ad, but Naga so close. They need to keep Shriek alive.
And this time he's doing a better job, but Shriek was under pressure, managing well between shield and health. Tensa, though, down. Karkar able to add the last little bit to it. Come on, look on the other side. Logix, Graviton up before Nice. Beast Halo gonna let the hammer down, knocks Goliath down to the floor. Can they save Goliath? No, they can't. Beast Halo finishing his plate. This Fusion University gonna roll back over and retake.
So now Fusion Unity, they have the point. Montreal, they're coming up on a bunch of ults, coming up on, you know, nearly 5. But Fusion Unity, they hold and they have their combo here. So Montreal have to make a choice if they want to fight this high ground early or if they want to go to point. I think you should go the high ground route, which is what they're stacking up to do, and try to get this grab out of Nice.
Right now, if Montreal's going to force round 3, this is the perfect time for God's Zero play and just devour the grab from Nice.
Yeah, but he's taking a lot of damage early on the entry. You see Montreal, they're moving the high ground. Nice. The grab is eaten. The grab is eaten. Oh.
It was on the other side, though. It's Logic's grab.
Oh,
going to the wayside. Bernard does what God's looking to do. Nice still has his grab in reserve. And now Nice under pressure, going to fall before he can get the Graviton out. Montreal still challenging. They're going to be forcing out the Transcendence from Alarm on the other side and Shriek. Beast Halo. The pressure from Montreal still moving in. And Logix.
I don't know why Karkar invested beat. I don't know.
Grab.
It's done. I mean, Logix has built another grab, but Karkar invested beat after the shatter from Shriek. But they've lost too many members. Nice wasn't there with the grab. Montreal having a huge clutch there off of the shadow from Shriek. And like you talked about, Logix does have another grab.
It is really out of the Defran Baby Bay playbook.
Yes, it is.
Really, 1-for-1. So
now, Fusion Unity, they're going to have to look to retake the point. Montreal in control. They have the combo up.
We'll see if they can connect.
They don't even need it. They don't even need ZP.
Yeah, they can just go for the grab. Logic's going to be looking for it here. And this time, Graviton in from Nice first. Logix counters with the grab of his own. Self-destruct though catches Goliath early. Both sends out of the fight, but there's the shatter in from Beast Halo. Sets a pretty good tone, but still might not be enough. Gods is still in the cleanup, and Montreal is turning the fight back in their favor.
And Fusion Uni once again invested ults. They invested Beat, or not Beat, they invested Shatter, they invested Bomb. So Montreal have won the fight. They've held on to the Bomb here. They've held on to Rally. Goliath on the way to another trance.
And they're one fight away from forcing round 3. One fight away.
Of course they are.
Yes.
Of course they are, ZP. We would expect nothing less.
It just keeps happening.
They keep on doing it. So now Fusion Uni looking once again from the high ground. Gods, he's back there. He has the bomb.
Oh, they're going to go into it. Self-destruct early from Gods, forcing a hot retreat from Fusion University. And they use that to try again Beast Halo, but Fusion University able to get away in full.
Able to get away, but it's giving time for Montreal to continue to build more ults. Shatter almost up for Sharik. Transit was up for Goliath. As Fusion Uni is still there. But Sharik, he just planked. He's done.
He's out of the fight early. Montreal trying to take advantage before Fusion University is able to heal up. And Bernard, some smart awareness, got over to the point, prevented a C9-esque opportunity. And Fusion University again be looking to take this to the limit as they retake.
Not only that, not only does Bernard get the flip while the fight is happening on high ground, but they trade trances and Fusion Uni doesn't lose a single member somehow. And so now they flip, they win the fight. Montreal has to come back in. They don't really have a lot of ults here. And look at all the ults for Fusion.
Right now, you'd think Fusion University would end this right here and now. I mean, there would be no round 3. I'm not sure that's their style. We'll see how this works out. Montreal, lead rotation over. Early grab here from Nice. Very, very early. To put that, I don't even think the fall through is going to be there.
That grab was so smart from Logix. I don't even necessarily, they could have just tanked this fight and gotten out, but Logix uses the grab as a way to peel for his team. Denies the follow-up, and Karkar beats it, thinking they're going to need to use the beat to survive. This is okay for Montreal. They're in an okay position.
Montreal, it's winnable right now. This fight gets decided off for the second round. Montreal moving forward. Beast Halo under pressure. Sharika drops the hammer. Bernard's in danger.
Oh my goodness. They did it. Beast Halo's Shatter just won the game for Fusion Uni. It's done. They're undefeated again, ZP.
They got off the script though. It wasn't round 3. It was just a map 5. But yes, add it to the well one more time. Fusion University winning the series in map 5.
And who would have guessed it, huh?
Unbelievable.
Who would have guessed it?
Wow.
And I have to say, Montreal looks so good. They had great plays, but just they took Fusion Uni to map 5. It is essential. It is essential. You cannot go to map 5 against Fusion Uni. You just can't. You can't do it. They grow their strongest.
Yeah, you really, and again, thinking about how the streak could have been broken here, let's go back to Kings Row. They were one fight away on Kings Row.
One fight away.
One fight away from defeating the God Kings of Contenders in Fusion University from the North American side.
That's that. And you know, Fusion Uni, you know, we there's all these memes like, oh, I can't beat them. I mean, they're always look beatable, but they're always just so clutch when they need to be. That shadow from Beast Halo was massive. Despite the counterblade from Logix to get that essentially peeling grab for his team, force the beat from Karkar. Beast Halo recognizes the bubbles are used. He just sees that Sharik is stepped to the side and drops the shatter. Gets everyone on the ground. No ults available. Huge from Beast Halo.
Yeah, ends it right then and there, just when you think round 3 could have been on the menu with a great comeback by Montreal. But for Montreal, it is very promising. The problem is, of course, the standings and the lack of games left to be played, working against them heavily. But guys, that's just match number 1. Still got a lot of more matches here today. Some certainly going to be exciting, but we do have to take a break. When we come back, second match of the day, and right at you.